We're interested in how international funds for environmental protection goes from the international level to the subnational level, going through the national governments. So our expectations is that the international organization will prioritize the development needs of the subnational unit, and the national government will prioritize its electoral strategy in the subnational unit. And in matching funding models, we expect the bigger contributor to decide that balance of preferences and ultimately determine the allocation at the subnational level. And our research as explaining this overlooked link between international donor and subnational government, this connection, which there is not that much research. So the data that we use in our work is the GEF data. GEF is a global environmental facility. It's the largest public international donor for the environment. GEF funding goes to the national government, which in turn distributes to subnational governments. So this to give you a sense of what GEF priorities are, the types of GEF projects by country. You can very quickly see that biodiversity is an area that receives a lot of international funding for these three countries. Also climate change, to some extent, international waters and land degradation. We find evidence of our argument when GEF's contribution is larger in these projects go to poor, less developed subnational units with fewer number of effective parties and less competitive subnational elections. When the national government contributes more to these projects, those projects go to richer and higher human development subnational units with a higher number of effective parties and more competitive elections at the subnational level. So we see that environmental aid offers opportunities for national governments to pursue electoral politics, and the international donor remains mostly driven by development need more than environmental need. It's very hard for the national government to pass up the opportunity to make it rain and competitive subnational units to use the funds that are coming from abroad for the environment. Doesn't mean that those funds do not go to projects that are environmental in nature. It's just that the choice of the unit is political. And our main policy recommendation is that as international donors require greater buy-in from national governments, which is a trend across international organizations, asking national governments to match more, to put more resources, they also will want to increase other accountability mechanisms, because what we find is that when the national government becomes a main partner in an environmental project, an environmental grant, it gets to decide where that grant goes more freely.